Now we've been talking all things energy as we give you tips and ideas to beat the squeeze in the cost of living. Gas and electricity price caps are set to hit an all-time high in April. But it's worth stressing that there is no energy price cap for businesses. So they face even higher rises in energy costs. Costs, of course, which they will eventually pass on to consumers. I'm joined now by Charlie Alexander. He is Managing Director at Bleikers, a family-run smokehouse in the Yorkshire Dales. Charlie's firm has struggled in the last quarter, dealing with high energy costs and inflated price for the fish that they smoke. Come April, when energy bills nearly double for some businesses, will small firms like Bleikers be able to cope? Charlie, it's great to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us from Bleikers.
No problem.
You hear a lot about this energy price cap going up for households, but businesses, they're not mentioned so much, are they?
No, sadly not. I'm faced with my bill's probably going to double, I've been told by my energy broker. So I currently pay £120,000 a year for my electricity. So going up to £240,000 a year will mean, obviously, my increase of £120,000. That means I either have to increase my sales by about 4%, or I have to put prices up by 1%. 120 grand, put it in perspective for a small business like myself, that would mean that my EBITDA would decrease by about 20% and my PBIT by 30%. So that's the impact it has on
dividends. There's a little bit of technical jargon that's your earnings before dividends and taxation and so on. Look, 120 grand, that is a lot of cash. Charlie, you run a very decent business. It's got a good reputation. It's great to have you on the show. How concerned are you and the rest of the family? You've built this business over many years. You've got a fabulous local reputation. Could this sink you?
Well, I don't think it will. However, we've got to be very, very mindful of it and be very, very focused on our energy usage. We're already looking at a feasibility study of how we really manage the factory from an energy point of view. So we become more efficient, not only in a production point of view, but also the amount of electricity we consume, because we clearly need to minimise it. If I'm getting, by the way, my double is the best quote I can get at the moment when my current contract runs out. So who knows when I'm run out in November that if it's uncapped, it might be worse. So that's where I think my best case scenario is at the moment. So clearly we're planning for that. We're doing a lot of work with our maintenance department of how we can actually look at minimising the amount when the factory's not in use. We'll make sure that we're not using the chillers too much. Obviously, we smoke. We're using electricity to make our smokers work. So how can we maximise usage by better tariffs during the night and all that sort of thing, which potentially would increase our labour costs. So there's a whole balancing act to be done. But it's mindful of that. So it's not only am I exposed to this at 100% increase, probably at best, but I'm exposed to packaging increases, I'm exposed to distribution increases, but of course
increases right across the supply chain. Charlie, ordinary householders, we try and sort out our bills at the kitchen table, don't we? Struggling at evenings and weekends. Obviously, you're running a serious business. You're looking at paying, £250,000 in your electricity bill. You focus on this as you run your business. Does someone in your position, a small business, but a substantial small business, do you have any kind of leverage when you ring up the energy firms, or are you absolutely at their mercy, like so many householders feel at the moment?
Yeah, we are, and we're uncapped at the moment. So I have no leverage whatsoever.
Shop around. There's no competition. There's no way you can play one provider off against another. You said you've got an energy agent. It's a professional service.
Very good for us. Yeah, who's been very good for us. The rate we've got at the moment is very competitive. And so using that has really helped, because we're not experts in buying electricity, and you need to be these days, clearly. So recruiting an expert, I think it certainly helped us. So we will trust them in finding the best deal for us from November with our current.
It strikes me, Charlie, just briefly at the end, the really big firms, the big manufacturers, the big food processors and so on, they can hedge, can't they? They can buy electricity forward. Yeah. They can have proper trading desks to insulate themselves, even profit from spiking wholesale energy prices. Presumably, as a relatively small business, albeit a successful one, you don't have that. It strikes me here on The Money that it's the smaller firms that are really going to get hammered during this price spike.
Correct. Yeah, and remember, 99% of firms in the UK are SMEs.
Small and medium size, yeah. Charlie Alexander, absolutely fascinating to talk to you. Do stay in touch with us here on The Money as we approach this April price rise. Of course, the price rises are coming in for you all the time. Charlie Alexander there, Managing Director of Bleikers Smokehouse in the lovely Yorkshire Dales.